Last week, I chatted with Kathy Goers from Waste Not Upcycled. She's found a way to take something as simple as broken crayons and transform them into colorful, one of a kind creations that people love to give as gifts. If you've ever wondered how to turn the ordinary into something extraordinary, then go back and give that episode a listen. Now, in this week's episode, guys, I want to talk about summer winding down and how our homes can sometimes feel caught between seasons. From bright and airy, but maybe missing that cozy vibe, we start craving that in fall. I'm going to share some simple, subtle swaps that you can make to transition your decor from summer to fall. No giant tubs of pumpkins, no overwhelming projects, just easy, impactful ideas that bring warmth and charm into your space. So grab your favorite cozy drink and join me as we welcome fall one little change at a time.
Welcome to the Rescued and Upcycled podcast with weekly inspiration, tips on trying new techniques, and overall real talk about owning your own DIY business. Now, here's your host, Sonnet Ullenbrock.
Welcome back to Rescued and Upcycled, the podcast where we celebrate creativity, repurposing, and the stories behind the treasures we rescue. I'm your host, Sonnet Ullenbrock, and I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you guys are new here, I love to interview creatives and other small business owners and just really talk about all things home decor, upcycling, and decorating for the seasons. All right. So, you guys, let's be honest here. None of us are ready to drag out 10 totes of pumpkins just yet, right? But at the same time, some of our current decor is starting to feel a little out of place. I know that the last few, actually, this last week, it's been getting down into like the 40s in the morning, and that crisp air just has you starting to feel like you want to break some of that coziness out. So that's where these little swaps that we're going to talk about today just really come in. We're talking cozy blankets, mood lighting, and really just enough seasonal touches to make your home feel ready for fall without tipping over into full on Halloween mode. You guys, I am not ready for that yet. So, like I said, when the season starts to shift, not just the weather that we notice, it's really the feeling in our homes too. Summer decor often really leans towards, light, bright, and breezy. But as our days are getting shorter, we naturally just start craving warmth and comfort. And I know that I've already started to feel that. Actually, you start craving all things comfort, not only in your home, but just think about like I start craving comfort foods even. So I don't know what it is like that the evening or that there's less daylight hours or what. But there is that craving of warmth and comfort. And that doesn't mean that we have to toss everything out and just start over. No, when it comes to seasonal decorating, the secret, you guys, is layering, not replacing. So, really, by gradually adding that warmer textures, deeper tones, just some softer lighting, your home transitions naturally with the season. So, think subtle shifts. Those subtle shifts really make your space feel current without feeling absolutely forced. And the best part is they don't require a huge investment of time or money. Today, let's break down exactly how we're going to do that one little swap at a time. So, one of the easiest and honestly the most impactful ways to shift your home from summer to fall is truly just changing out some of the textiles in your home. So think about it. Fabric, it is what we see and touch the most in our homes and in our everyday spaces. So I always like to think throws. We snuggle under them, and the pillows that we lean against or the rugs that we walk across. So, making a few intentional swaps here can completely transform the whole vibe of your room almost instantly. So let's start with throws first. So in summer, it's hotter, but even like with the air conditioning on, we don't want something super heavy on us. We often use lighter cotton or like linen type of fabrics that feel like breezy and airy. For fall, try to trade those out with something just a little bit chunkier. So, like a knit, a cable weave, or, like even a fleece blanket. Draping one of these just casually across the back of your sofa or over the arm of your chair or even at the foot of your bed, honestly, you guys, it instantly gives that cozy, come sit down feeling. And here's a tip: don't fold them too neatly. A little softness, and drape feels so much more inviting. I love looking like through catalogs and just seeing a blanket like draped across an ottoman or over the backside of a chair. It just definitely feels so much more inviting than having it completely like crisply folded and put somewhere in your home or tucked away. Now, let's talk pillows next. Instead of buying entirely new pillows, invest in pillow covers. I love down pillows, you guys, and I that is your huge like the biggest investment. So, instead of rebuying more down pillows, why don't you just buy new pillow covers? They're affordable, easy to store, and you can swap them out seasonally without adding a ton of clutter or taking up a lot of space in your closet. So for fall, start thinking about richer, deeper tones, those rusts, mustards, olives, even like the jewel tones, like a deep plum or navy. You could also add a bit of texture here too. So consider like using velvet, tweed, or even faux leather, you guys, looks incredible in autumn decor as well. So, mixing a couple of those textured pillows with your basics, makes everything just feel a little bit more elevated and seasonal. And don't forget about the rugs. Layering in such a is such a great trick for this time of year, you guys. If you have like a natural fiber rug like jute or sisal, try layering a small pattern rug on top of it. um, Plaids, or even a vintage Persian style rug can add warmth and color while still letting your main rug act as a grounding piece. The layered look adds the extra depth and makes a room feel more styled and cozy. Even doing this at your front door is so much more welcoming. I've seen it so many times where you layer like a larger rug underneath a smaller rug, and it just adds so much warmth and depth. The best part of honestly swapping these textiles is that it doesn't require bins of seasonal decor. These are just pieces you'll actually use: pillows, blankets, and rugs. So it's both practical and beautiful. And you're not just decorating for the season, you're making your space more functional, more comfortable, which is what fall is all about. And honestly, you guys, fall is truly one of my favorite favorite seasons in Wisconsin. It just I love that crisp air. I love like cozying up on the couch, looking out the window, seeing the leaves rustle on the trees, and you want to create that coziness in your home. You want your home to be completely inviting. And so, like I said, just those few changes can truly just make everything feel much more cozy and welcoming. So, another way to invite fall into your home without overwhelming it is by leaning into nature. Summer, often calls for like bright flowers or leafy greens, but fall is about earthier, cozier materials. So start thinking about dried stems, branches, wheat stalks, like even eucalyptus. A bundle of dried florals in a thrifted jug or a simple ceramic vase can instantly, ground your space. Even walk outdoors and look through like the garden, and you can find beautiful branches or seed pods that just add that natural texture indoors. I love grabbing those different, pieces like from my garden, even go on a walk and just kind of clip some really unique pieces. Stay out of the poison ivy though, you guys, because recently my daughter was on a little bit of a nature walk and she took some photos and she ended up in a clump of poison ivy. So be on the lookout for that. I don't want to send you into full on breakout like she has. Produce is another secret styling tool, you guys. A bowl of apples, pears, or small squash on your table or kitchen counter isn't just practical, it's beautiful. I love going to the farmer's market and grabbing even some of the squash that they have there or some of the little mini pumpkins because that is transitioning there at the farm market as well. They're very easily found down there, but style them in a vintage bowl, a wooden dough trough, or a wire basket for that old world lived in charm. Wood tones and vintage finds also come alive in fall decor. A thrifted cutting board lean against your backsplash. I have like three vintage cutting boards against mine, an old wooden crate styled with books, or even a stack of weathered books with a candle on top just brings out that warmth and coziness. And the key here is to keep it simple and natural. These touches don't have to scream fall, but they give your home that seasonal grounding that we all crave. So, just by adding, like I said, just a few of those touches, you can add it in your kitchen, in your living room, and it's just little bits. Now, if you've only made one change this season, I'd say focus on color and lighting. They're the most, powerful and impactful. Summer tends to lean into lighter palettes, so like pastels, whites, like a lot of times people like those beachy blues, but fall on the other hand, it has that rich it just has a richer feel. Don't you agree? Like I always feel like I'm drawn to like burnt oranges or like that curry or mustards. And those deeper colors just, help you feel more grounded. And that doesn't mean repainting your walls. Instead, shift your accents. So, swap out a couple of your photo frames for wood or brass, add a darker toned vase, like I said, a rich velvet pillow or artwork in autumn shades, even a feel even a few intentional swaps can change just that whole feel of your whole room. So, lighting is just another major player, you guys. I think about, like a lot of people have those overhead lights and they're so bright. So, as the days shorten, the right lighting truly makes all the difference. And that overhead lighting, like I said, can just feel harsh, especially as evenings come earlier. This is where I love to turn on lamps and bring different lamps in, or even lanterns or, like, oh, candles. I always, in the summer, I don't burn a lot of candles, but once fall hits, I love burning candles for the ambiance. And also, I love having like that cinnamon or, that apple spice or pumpkin latte. All those smells just makes it much more cozy and it makes it feel like fall is coming. So I would recommend to like swapping out bulbs, add some warmer bulbs in your lamps. So look for those soft whites or like that warm glow instead of those daylight bulbs. It makes a huge difference. I recently was shopping myself for different light bulbs and I bought a couple different packs because I don't shop for light bulbs a lot, but I'm like, when I put the daylight ones in, I'm like, "Dang, these are bright." But then those soft whites just make everything feel so much warmer. And by adding that, your room, you guys, it just suddenly the whole room, just feels more inviting. And if you don't have dimmers, no worries. Just think about layers of light. So, a lamp in the corner, a candle on the table, maybe a twinkle of fairy lights on a shelf. It's not about the brightness, it's about the glow. So, think about the warm, cozy glow is the essence of fall. And I just love waking up in the morning and I just love turning on a lamp and just sitting there, feeling all cozy under my blanket as I'm, getting ready for the day, drinking my coffee. And that is how I feel about fall. Or it just, as I'm talking about this, it's getting me excited. I am like ready for it just because I feel like here in Wisconsin, things have just changed overnight within one weekend. And that's how Wisconsin is. It's like it doesn't know what season it is sometimes. I mean, like right now, we're still in August and well, we're just about to hit September. And I feel like last weekend is when it finally felt like fall. So, finally, let's just talk about the little touches that make all the difference, you guys. These are the quick swaps you can do in just minutes, but they bring in so much charm to your home. So, let's start with your entryway. That area of your home truly sets the tone. So, something very easy is you can add a seasonal wreath on the door, like I talked about earlier, a cozy doormat. So, like, you can layer those doormats, or even just a basket by the door with a blanket tucked in. That can truly feel just so inviting. Now, in your kitchen, swap out your dish towels for ones with warmer hues. Like I said, to keep a wooden bowl of, apples, pears, or even like gourds or squash on the counter, and that truly is functional and beautiful. Now, for your coffee tables, and shelves, they're the perfect spot for some subtle styling, you guys. So, a tray with like some candles or a candle, a small bundle of dried florals, and a couple of stacked books. It's just a simple but impactful way to add a bit of fall or that coziness. So on shelves, consider tucking, in a little brass accent, a vintage crock, or even a small pumpkin later in the season. And don't forget the bedrooms, you guys. A quilt layered at the end of your bed. Add some darker pillow shams or just a soft bedside lamp. Completely will shift the space. It really does. It completely just transforms your space by just adding just a little touch here and there. How I like to say it is just add a little something something. So, the beauty of these swaps, though, is that they're just small and flexible, and you don't need to change everything at once. Add one or two little touches to each room, and you'll feel that cozy fall charm as soon as you walk in. And it's really instant. And I also love like plaids for fall, and that can lead right into the holidays then. So, as we've talked about today, honestly, you guys, transitioning your home from summer to fall doesn't have to mean, like I said, bins of pumpkins or a complete overhaul. It's just really, truly about layering in those small, thoughtful changes that truly just will shift the mood of your home. A cozy throw here, a textured pillow there, a bowl of apples or gourds. A bundle of branches from the yard, swapping in just some softer lighting, and just a couple, some richer tones, even those tiniest touches, like a fall wreath on your door, a quilt at the foot of your bed, can truly make a space feel warm, welcoming, and in tune with the season. What I guess I love the most about this approach is that it's not about perfection, it's about creating a feeling. And that really is, fall is a season of slowing down, of gathering, of cozying up, and by making these subtle swaps, you're giving your home that same energy. And you're doing it without stress, without clutter, and without losing the light, airy vibe you may still love from summer. So, here's my encouragement for you guys this week. Don't feel like you need to tackle your whole house at once. Just pick one space, a coffee table, your entryway, or even just your favorite chair, and add one or two of these little fall inspired touches and notice how the energy in your home shifts and notice how it makes you feel. That's the magic of seasonal decorating. It's not about the stuff, it's about how your home supports and inspires you. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. I know that it this was a little bit of a different type of episode, but I have been really feeling like I've like since I would say, like I said, last week, I've been feeling fall and I've been wanting to start transitioning, but I'm not ready for full on pumpkins or, corn stalks or any of that. And it just made me think of like, what could you add to your home to just start creating that coziness? So, in next week's episode, I am going to be on the road again, you guys. And I am hoping that I can interview somebody I'm going to be back at my mastermind. And I'm hoping that I can interview somebody there. And it'll be fun because the last time I took the Rescued and Upcycled podcast on the road, we were in Tennessee, so I am hoping that I can kind of hold, one of the gals said that she'd be interested in doing an interview. So I am super excited about that. So I'm going to bring my equipment there and I'm hoping that we can do it then. Otherwise, I will have something ready for you guys next week. But I won't say which gal has agreed to do the interview. Maybe I'll interview a couple of them. But I do want to thank you guys all for joining me on this episode of Rescued and Upcycled. And I hope you're walking away with ideas that feel doable, inspiring, and fun because that's exactly what seasonal decorating should be. If you do try out one of these swaps, I would love to see it. So share a photo with me over on Instagram and tag me in it. Otherwise, I do have my creative network. It is my free community. Definitely go over that there. And, if you haven't joined, join that or that group and share your photos over there so that we can all be inspired by your cozy touches. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We've got more cozy inspiration just around the corner for you guys. And a quick favor if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms or wherever you tune in, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your reviews definitely help more creatives find this podcast, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate all your support. If you're watching this over on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you guys never miss out on an episode. And definitely give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you're going to add some seasonal decor to your home. And of course, you can follow me across all my socials where I post daily inspiration. I do DIYs, thrift flips, thrift hauls, and a lot of behind the scenes. There's always something new happening in our creative community, and I'd love for you to be part of it. So, you guys, until next week, keep creating a home you love, one rescued and upcycled treasure at a time. We'll see you next week. Bye.